You are running for Congress to represent Tucson, Arizona. If you win this special election, you'll be the youngest Gen Z woman in Congress, the first Gen Z woman in Congress. And if this special election is to replace a Democrat who died in office at 77. In contrast, you are 25, and I wanted to unpack that a little bit. What is making you run for Congress so young?
Yeah, I mean, it has everything to do with the way that I was raised. I was raised by a single mom here in Tucson, and we relied on Section 8 housing to keep a roof over our head, SNAP benefits or food stamps to put food on the table. I was a free lunch kid in our public schools. I relied on Medicaid to get my physicals, to play sports in school, and just have access to basic health care. And so when I see Donald Trump and these Republicans putting those very same things in their crosshairs, most recently through this budget bill, it's personal to me.
And as a young person and somebody from a working class background, you represent two groups that are currently fleeing the Democratic Party. And I wonder what you think the Democratic Party can do to win these base, reliable constituencies back.
Yeah, fleeing is the right word. They could not be moving away from the Democratic Party faster. I mean, the Democratic Party presently has an approval rating in the 20%, something like 27%. And every election cycle, they tap folks like me. This 2025 special election is the first referendum on if we learned our lessons in 2024. And we see here a real culture of selection politics, that people should wait their turn, that there is a line and you don't skip it. But the status quo and that kind of political dynasty thinking is exactly what got us into this mess. And it is not what's going to get us out. So as a young person, a member of Gen Z, I'm forward looking, right? I'm thinking about the future of this party and our democracy. And I know that healthy primaries with candidates people can see themselves in make a difference in engaging voters who have been left out. That means young people and working class folks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as a member of Gen Z, I became politically aware during Donald Trump's first run for office in 2016. I think many of us did. And what do you think that that has done to shape our generation's political psyche, that we don't really remember or know a time in politics before there was Donald Trump?
For folks like us, this is all we've ever known. Donald Trump started running for president when I was 15 years old. I am 25. I'll be 28 by the time he's done. That is, the entirety of our generation's political understanding. And that's why we're best suited to take him on, because his chaos, his particular brand of spectacle, legislating by tweet or Truth Social or whatever he's doing these days, is something that is not new to us. It is actually core to our political understanding. And we need new messengers in office who can go toe to toe in these new media and social media spaces where, frankly, the right is running circles around us. And when 39% of adults under 30 are getting their news on TikTok, to ignore these spaces is a losing long-term strategy, and we will be in a bad spot come 2028.
Yes. With that being said, you worked as a social media strategist on the Harris campaign in 2020. When she became the Democratic nominee in 2024, the beginning, it looked so promising because her campaign really merged with what was going on social media at the time. Who could forget Brat Summer and the way that that merged with the Harris campaign? But ultimately, that momentum didn't last. It didn't bring her into the White House. And I guess, what are your takeaways?
I think that the campaign did an excellent job of digital strategy, tapping into influencers and creators and digital spaces. But the runway simply wasn't long enough. And that has something to do with our party failing to listen, right? If we had been a little bit keyed in to conversations on the grounds or on the comment sections, we would have known that it was time for someone like Biden to step aside and pass the torch. And that's a problem that I think we can really get into, which is that our party has failed to pass on leadership. We are seeing members of Congress pass away while still in their seats, and it has real implications. 3 deaths in the Democratic side of our House of Representatives, right? In the last few months alone, we lost the budget bill to those Republicans that threatens to strip millions of their health care. Take away SNAP benefits, take food off the tables of our most vulnerable families. We lost that vote by a single vote, by one member. We have 3 vacancies because of deaths in our party. So if we're not having the hard conversations about succession planning, about a next generation of leadership, then we are going to continue to have moments like 2024 or like this last budget bill.
I imagine that as a young woman, you might have to work a bit harder than your opponents to make people take you seriously. And I wonder if you get the vibes on the ground that voters are equating age with experience.
Well, you know what's so interesting is the people who are the most excited about our campaign and really understand that new generation of leadership message are sort of on either sides of the age spectrum. It's other young people who you might expect to see us and be like, this is exciting. I can't believe you're doing this. We deserve representation. We're the ones left holding the bag on bad policy, right? We are being tasked with fixing all of these massive problems that we didn't create. Think climate change, right? And then on the other side of the age spectrum, which I think is a bit more surprising and might be juicy to your listeners here, is that some of the people that get it without any explanation are folks over 60, particularly women who fought for things like Roe versus Wade, have watched it overturned, and know that they may not be around to see it reinstated. When we come and knock their doors, and I'm telling you, we're bringing out people who have never knocked doors before, frat boys from the University of Arizona, girls who have loud critiques online. They are coming to knock doors with us when they have never knocked doors for a candidate before. And that is not supposed to happen in a special election primary in the middle of summer.
Get the frat boys, you know that you've...
Yeah, exactly. We've solved it, guys. We've got democracy saved.